also want to bring in now to this conversation our AFR correspondent, Jam Sardar, because this is a story that is personal for Jam as well. First of all, your parents are from Iran, and when it came to the topic of arranged marriage, how did that play out in your family?
They never really pushed it. I was born here in the States and grew up here, grew up more American than Iranian. My parents would have liked to have seen me marry an Iranian girl or Iranian-American girl. They were friends of the family they introduced me to and hoped that sparks would fly. They never did, and my parents never really pushed it.
You got to choose, obviously, the person that you married. You are married and happily married. And tell me about that process and how that was for you.
Arranged marriage still played a part in that situation. My wife is an American citizen. She was born here, but she grew up almost all of her life in India. So she was very attuned to the Indian culture. In fact, I say that she's more Indian than American. She moved back here when she was about 20, and we met actually at work. And started, after a considerable amount of persuasion, we actually started dating. And that was the first time my wife had dated anybody, because she grew up in that culture where people just didn't date. She was ready and willing to go ahead with the arranged marriage.
And was there any feedback or fallout from her side of the family on this as a result of all of this?
There was some concern, because obviously we started dating. They were looking at me from an American perspective and wondering if I would actually go through with marrying their daughter. So they were concerned about what was going to happen to her. The parents did try to arrange a marriage, even though we were dating, and it looked for a while like there might come to a point where she would have to choose between me and her family. I have to admit, I could have made things easier by being more agreeable to marriage earlier on.
And obviously, you thought you would have been the choice, obviously.
Right, absolutely.
But your story obviously has a good happy ending, and we want to show the result of that happy ending right now on the screen.
The happy ending happened. Part of it was about 3 or 4 years ago when we got married. Her parents always liked me, and then about 15 months ago, we had our little girl. Her name is Anjali, and she is the first grandchild on both sides. And she's obviously the light of my life and my wife's and all of her grandparents as well.
Well, again, there are two examples of how this works when it's not going with the norm, and we also saw an example of how it works with the norm. And so our job here is not to come to any conclusions or to make any judgments, but to put out both sides of the story.
Absolutely. There are a lot of them. A lot of people are flexible. A lot of situations are flexible. One of the things I've noticed here among the American, Indian, Iranian culture is a lot of the parents will try to find somebody, but then in the end give their kids the ultimate say as to whether the person is going to be. So it'll be a person they're choosing, but they're not locked into the first person that gets chosen either.
Well, good stuff, Jam, and we appreciate you sharing your story as well. And for our viewers out there, Jam is very proud of his daughter. He has pictures of her everywhere, and we've all seen them, just for the record.
And she's on YouTube.
That's right, and she's on YouTube. All right.